Imagine you step into a bustling cafe, and right away you sense the electric energy of possibilities floating in the air. Strangers chat about their dreams, friends laugh about past mistakes, and the aroma of fresh coffee seems to whisper that anything can happen if you're willing to try. This is the moment, the first few seconds, when you feel curiosity rising in your chest. You want answers. You want something new to spark your thinking. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how a single wrong move might just become the best decision you ever make. So let's dive deep into the power of mistakes and how they can open doors you never even knew existed. In life, people often believe everything should come easily: success, money, relationships, happiness. That mindset is a trap. Real progress is not about the lucky break that magically fixes everything, it's about the countless missteps that pave the road to mastery. Everything we know and use, from everyday products to world-shifting innovations, was born from a cycle of trial and error, pain and joy, breakthroughs and setbacks. People tend to forget that before any major victory, there were 1,000 small defeats. When I first started questioning my own life path, I realized something crucial: if you're always afraid of looking silly or failing, you'll never grow. You must go through embarrassment, confusion, and moments of doubt to uncover your true potential. As you listen to my story, think about where your own life might need a shakeup. Which little failures could become stepping stones to a new version of yourself? Let's dive into the mistakes I believe everyone should experience at least once, and why they're so essential if you want to live a life of confidence, freedom, and real fulfillment. The first big mistake you need to make is to fail, truly mess up, and embrace the feeling. Far too many people avoid anything that might end in failure. They think if it gets uncomfortable or scary, they must be on the wrong track. But look at any high achiever, the shining career, the art that moves hearts, or the invention that changes everyday life. All these triumphs stand on a heap of false starts and humiliations. It's like learning a language: you can't expect to speak fluently after one day on a phone app. Or creating an artistic masterpiece: you won't become a renowned painter after a few basic tutorials. Real, lasting mastery often comes long after you've stumbled so many times that quitting feels tempting. The next time you try something new, a course of study, a business idea, a physical challenge, welcome the nervous excitement. Realize you might fail repeatedly. The most famous athlete didn't just sign up for one competition and win, they endured countless losses first. The funniest comedian probably bombed on stage more times than they can count before discovering their authentic voice. And the wealthiest entrepreneur likely lost it all at some point before finally striking gold. There's no shame in failing. The real shame is never attempting because you're worried about looking foolish. The second crucial mistake: let yourself become disappointed in who you are or what you do, your daily routine, your beliefs, your habits, even your idols. Disappointment can spark radical change, which is sometimes the exact fire we need. Maybe you once adored certain foods but now can't stand them. Or you believed in certain heroes, only to discover they're not who you thought they were. We evolve constantly, and that's a positive thing. But many hold on to the illusions they've outgrown, either because they fear being labeled a quitter or they're attached to who they used to be. If your life is full of constant stress, dissatisfaction, and a sense of emptiness, it's a sign you're clinging to something that no longer serves you. When you realize the routines, principles, or people around you are draining your spirit more than they energize it, you should reconsider everything. You don't have to transform your life in one day, but identifying where you're stuck allows you to step onto a better path. Being disappointed in yourself is painful, yet it's precisely that pain that cracks your shell wide open. It reveals the possibilities and helps you build a life that fits who you truly are. Along the way, I discovered I also needed structured guidance sometimes. That's why I connected with a comprehensive learning platform and online hub offering programs in everything from programming and design to filmmaking and music production. You take a short test to see which field resonates with your strengths and interests, then you try sample lessons free of charge. Experienced mentors show you real-world scenarios, guiding you through projects that mirror the tasks in top companies. This approach is way beyond dull theory. You dive into hands-on practice that stretches your abilities. If you ever decide to dive deeper, you'll find extended courses that come with strong job placement support. And for many, that's the gateway to a new career or an entirely fresh perspective on what's possible. Another big mistake you should experience is letting your emotions out, especially the ones you're tempted to keep locked inside. It's not healthy to constantly hide sadness, anger, or frustration. Bottling up painful feelings usually leads to bigger outbursts later and can damage your relationships, mental health, and even your sense of self. On the flip side, it's also a mistake to let your emotions run the show every day, to complain nonstop or drown in negativity. Emotions are signals pointing you to what's working and what's not. If something in your life feels toxic, be it your job, your social circle, or your own habits, your emotional reactions help you realize you need to change direction. Expressing how you feel is vital, but wallowing indefinitely in drama, blame, or self-pity doesn't solve anything. You should vent, think it over, share with a trusted friend, and then take action. We also learn a lot when our social circle disappoints us. Yes, it hurts to be betrayed or used, but these painful experiences teach us to discern who deserves our trust in time. It can show us that we've been chasing people who aren't good for our growth. You might have spent years seeking approval or love from those who only brought you down. And one day, you realize it's better to have fewer true friends than a large circle of fakes who erode your self-esteem. At the same time, the opposite mistake, isolating yourself completely, is just as harmful. True, you grow in solitude when you reflect on your identity and goals. But if you never build supportive relationships or find a community that challenges you to grow, you limit your potential. No city is built by a single person's effort, and no successful venture is just one lonely genius in a garage. Humanity thrives on collaboration. So be open to meeting new people who inspire you, and be just as open to walking away from those who poison your peace. It's also vital to make the mistake of waiting for someone else to fix your life. For a while, I fell into the trap of expecting a magic solution. I envied people who seemed lucky. I blamed fate. I tried shortcuts, like get-rich-quick schemes or methods that promised instant results. Those illusions led me to gamble away money and time, always thinking the next bet would be my miracle. Guess what? Nobody swooped in to rescue me. Eventually, I recognized a harsh truth: if you don't take full responsibility for your life, nobody else will. You can read every self-help book, watch motivational speakers, and pay for expensive seminars, but unless you personally take action, nothing changes. This shift in mindset was the biggest turning point in my journey. Owning your situation, not complaining, not hoping for a savior, unlocks growth. Suddenly, you become the main player in your own story, creating your own luck instead of hoping to stumble upon it. Sometimes, the universe has to strip away everything you treasure. The loss could be a relationship that felt like it would last forever, a best friend you believed in wholeheartedly, or a lifestyle you thought was your destiny. In losing those attachments, we learn how strong we really are and what we truly value. Losing money, for instance, can be the best teacher in financial responsibility. I've had my share of painful financial hits, from poorly considered business investments to a total meltdown in my budgeting. Without those lessons, I'd never have discovered the strategies to handle risk, multiply my resources, and manage my future with more wisdom. Now, I combine all those lessons into a personal crash course on financial literacy. There, I break down how money and markets work, how to set up investment portfolios with minimal risk, and how to aim for a steady growth that doesn't feel like you're gambling your life away. I also provide a behind-the-scenes look at my investments in a private group. We discuss real opportunities, share ideas, and learn from each other's mistakes. It's a safe space to understand, test, and refine a plan that helps you build true wealth. And yes, the discounts and bonuses for new participants are pretty generous, because I want people to focus on learning rather than worry about paying a fortune. One of the biggest oversights people make is relying on motivation instead of discipline. Motivation can be powerful, it might even inspire you to wake up at sunrise or start a new project. But it's ephemeral. It's that rush of excitement that can fade as soon as you get bored or face obstacles. Discipline, on the other hand, is the persistent act of doing the hard things day after day. It's reading even when you're tired, making that phone call you dread, or stepping out to run at dawn. Discipline asks you to commit to the process, not just the outcome. You may not feel a daily surge of excitement when you're being disciplined, but over time, the consistent effort turns into results that motivation alone can't match. Discipline is like the friend who always shows up, rain or shine, whereas motivation is more like an occasional buddy who drops by only when the weather is nice. Another mistake you should absolutely make at some point is ignoring your true passions, because that's how you eventually figure out what truly matters to you. Ever had a hobby you secretly loved but abandoned because friends or family said it was pointless? Or maybe a talent you never pursued because it didn't seem practical? For a long time, I suppressed my own dreams, chasing what others told me was important. Only after finding myself miserable did I wake up to the fact that I had been living someone else's life. That was the key turning point. When you push aside what your heart yearns for, your spirit eventually rebels. You might not know exactly what you want to do, but you sense there's something else out there for you. That itch to discover more about yourself can be a blessing if you choose to follow it. Yes, there's risk, people might judge you or think you're foolish. But trusting your core passions is how you tap into your most authentic power. Equally crucial is overcoming the trap of being stuck in the past. We often romanticize what used to be, forgetting that our minds edit those memories. The good old days may not have been as perfect as we recall. The truth is, the past no longer exists. The future is not yet written. All you can truly claim is this moment right now. Letting nostalgia chain you to old habits or relationships prevents you from becoming the person you're meant to be. You should certainly learn from your past mistakes. Every heartbreak, every financial fiasco, every professional misstep is a clue pointing you toward a smarter, more aware future. But don't linger there, use those lessons as a springboard, not a prison. Finally, the worst mistake would be failing to learn from any of the mistakes listed above. Imagine working the same dead-end job for decades, complaining about your relationship year after year, or repeating the same destructive patterns without ever asking yourself, what's the lesson here? Life will keep handing you the same test until you learn it. But the sooner you confront your flaws and missteps, the more time you'll have to create a future you can be proud of. We've covered a lot of ground. Every error, every disappointment, every loss has the potential to shape your new reality if you let it. Instead of running from failures, cherish them as fuel. Turn them into stepping stones. Ask yourself regularly, what did I do wrong, and what can I do better next time? The day you let your struggles become your teachers is the day your entire life changes. It's better to realize your deepest regrets or illusions at 20 or 30 than to discover them late in life, when your options have narrowed and you can't muster the energy to break free. If this message resonates with you, I hope you'll channel what you've heard into real, tangible change. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment sharing which mistakes have impacted you the most. If we hit 10 likes, I'll release a special episode on the specific habits that can banish laziness and catapult you to success. Your engagement means the world to me. It not only supports this channel but also builds a community of people committed to self-discovery and growth. Together, we can inspire each other to welcome mistakes as invitations to evolve. After all, life becomes a lot brighter when you allow yourself to get it wrong, then use those hard-won lessons to finally get it right.